GorillaPods, we all know them. Some of us use them. Actually, probably a lot of us use them. The real question is, you know, at 70, 80, 100 and more dollars a pop for a GorillaPod, are there any other alternatives? Is there anything that you could use that's probably better and cheaper for the scenario that you need to use it in for the need? Possibly. Yeah, that's what we're talking about today. We're going to talk about that. Why not? GorillaPods, pretty much a needed thing when you're doing YouTube and vlogging, or at least that style for some of your stuff. You kind of want it because it's bendy. So I've right now got a few of my lights actually sitting on GorillaPods or GorillaPod Alternatives. Let's see what we think of them. Are these other things that you could use? Because we all seem to just go out and buy GorillaPod. Why? Because we see all these vloggers that are big names out there doing it, and so we figure we need to spend all that money too. To my right, just be aware, this light may or may not, I might turn it off. My video may look a little different, so I got a light over here. This light, right here, I'm gonna turn this down, off, down. This is actually on a real Joby GorillaPod. So that's a GorillaPod right there. For those of you who have no idea what a GorillaPod is. That's it, sits on the table, just like that. Sits there, these legs can bend around, so be it. And you can put this pretty much wherever you want. This thing cost, like I said, I think this one cost $70 or $80 for this one. Good to have, yeah, 100%. But I've had this for a while, and I'm gonna be honest, you know, it's starting to lose a little bit of its weird. Some of the joints seem really loose, and some of them seem ridiculous, like this one here. Like, I don't even know if I can bend that anymore. I don't know what's causing it. But that seems to be a problem. And, I don't know if you can see it. Ready? I'm gonna hold this. Ready? So strength-wise, sometimes that can be a bit of an issue as well. And that's even on a real Joby one. So, okay, I'm gonna turn this light back on. Okay, light back on. Just gonna fire it up like that, I think it was. Just sort of like that. Maybe, so be it. I'm gonna reach over this way. And again, turn my lights off so you guys don't get blinded. GorillaPod number 2. No, it's not. This is actually a fake one. This is actually a knockoff. I'll do a little reach, right? Whoops, real GorillaPod, not real. I'd have to say the build quality of the real GorillaPod is better, for sure, without question. This one I find, some of the legs were a little loose. They were looser, they loosened quicker over time than I found the real Joby one did. But I think this one cost me like $19. So I could buy like 4 of these for the price of one of those. And depending on what you're using it for, knockoff. Does it hold my light? Yeah, just fine. Look at that. The other one, remember? Bent down. That's not all of them. Oh, actually, maybe. It's actually holding pretty good. That's an option. Do you always have to buy the brand name? No, not at all. It has the same wrappability, right? To go around and do all the stuff that the real ones do, which is cool. I'm gonna light me back up. Number 3. Well, actually number 2, because first one really was the GorillaPod. So number 2. Same kind of idea. Now this one's by Polaroid. I actually have this one holding up my gimbal so I can place it and balance it and all that kind of stuff. That's it here. I'm gonna actually maybe unscrew the gimbal part for you guys. Bonus of this one, $29. This was a whole 29 bucks. Came with a little ball head type dealie on it, so I can take this, of course, and this moves around, which is excellent, right? Don't have to buy one of those extra. It's a different kind of setup. This one here is based almost on little tiny right angle hinges. This leg can bend this way, or this part, and this part can bend this way, and this one can bend this way. It feels solid, I'll give it that. It feels solid, but same kind of thing, right? When your legs are out here, one of the things on all the GorillaPods I find, you know, and we've seen this on all the videos, when you start putting heavy cameras on it, one of the issues is that the legs just somewhat kind of collapse on you if they're not perfect. So here's one of the tricks that I've always learned. When you get your legs out, and it doesn't matter if it's one of these or an actual GorillaPod, when you get them out, don't leave them like this. Make sure your end ones are actually kind of pointed down on an angle. When they're down like this, you know, so you come out and then you give it a down, so each one of these is down. What happens is when that placement is down on this, the legs are pushing down. If they were out like this, they just want to slide, and what happens is that leg just shoots out. And then of course everything just goes right to, you know where it goes. You know. 29 bucks for this one. Cool? Yeah. I actually like this. I use this a lot. It feels nice. It's got a really good feel to it, I have to say. A little different than the GorillaPod. So I find it useful. I don't necessarily know if I would only have this versus a GorillaPod, but it's good. It's, you know, 29 bucks. Last but not least is, and I'm gonna have to turn my camera around. Actually, I'll do this. Bring this camera, ready? I'm gonna turn this camera on, widen that out. Hold on. Okay, I wasn't gonna do this part, so I didn't have a card in here. So I have a card now. It's just a little tiny tabletop tripod. You know, these things are awesome, and so many of us forget that this is such a simple and cheap little tool. We have these GorillaPods, when yet this is all I really need. And that, if I really felt like it, I could squeeze the legs together and use it as a selfie stick. I could hold that up like this. It'd be a little bigger, but I could do it. Plus I have an actual, you know, I have an actual tripod. And if you look at how much weight is on that, there it is right there, with a 7-inch field monitor on it. I have my Rode mic. I have a Canon 7D, all on that. That's not going anywhere, nowhere. For a lot of things, that's the smart choice, without question. Little tripod like that. I bet you, I bought that a bajillion years ago. I bet you could buy that tripod there 15-20 bucks probably. That's an Optex what is that? Optex T12. That's what that is. Go online, find one of those. That's like your Walmart brand, but it's holding all my gear. Sits on that table, rock solid. Does that camera have to move anywhere? No, I don't want it to move. That's what I want it to do, not move. Perfect solution for that. GorillaPod, probably not as good. Is that able to be put in my backpack? Yeah, 100%. I can carry that around without question. Alright guys, I'm gonna leave you there. I just wanted, you know, everybody's like, buy a GorillaPod, buy a GorillaPod. And I'm a firm believer that you should have something like a GorillaPod, for sure, but it's not always the best option for what you're doing. For me, I could have spent 1, 2, 3, 4 tripods. If I would have bought all GorillaPods, I'd be looking at between $300 and $400. I bought that one, and that one. 29, 39, 49, like 69 bucks, 70 bucks we'll say, 80 bucks for all 3 of those. That seems way better to have all 3 of those. All right, I'm not gonna get into it. You guys make the decision. Tripods, eh? Wow, tripods. Who would have thought? Such a complicated subject. Sometimes cheap is okay. As long as it does what it needs to do, why spend the extra money? All right, my friends, I'm gonna get out of here. I've got stuff to do, You have stuff to do. Yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe. You didn't think I was gonna forget to say it. You might have. I almost did. I'm gonna go. All right, my friends, have a good one, and we will talk to you all later.